Welcome, everyone. You have Grandma Mo here, and appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button for me. So we're covering the Phoenix Mercury against the Connecticut Sun. This game was played in Phoenix, and Connecticut just started out really bad. The first quarter, they were outscored 26-6. They weren't playing any defense. Like, they were just getting easy shots, and Connecticut couldn't make a basket. But to their credit, they came right back in the second quarter, because this could have been a huge blowout. But they fought back, and they got it back down to like 10 points or 12 points. But then, of course, Phoenix would go on another run, and before you knew it, it was up to 20 points again. And then it got as high as 30 points. But Connecticut kept battling back. The last two quarters were actually completely even. So if Connecticut didn't have such a bad first quarter, this would have been a really close game. So the Connecticut outscored them 22-18 in the second quarter, and then it was 20-20 and 18-18 in the third and fourth quarter. But the Mercury get the win, 82-66. They had a lot of turnovers. Phoenix had 20 turnovers. And that was part of the reason why Connecticut got back in the game for the most part. I mean, that it wasn't a blowout. But Connecticut's defense all of a sudden kicked in. And they had a chance to catch back up. But it was in the second quarter. They got it down to, I think, 9 or 11. Something like that. But it was around 10 points. But they were losing as many as 28 in this game. And each time they came back, and they ended up losing by 16. But they had, even late in the fourth, they got it down to 14 from 28. But they just couldn't capitalize on... They'd get like a steal, and then they couldn't make a basket. And the ball was just bouncing Phoenix's way. So... another triple-double for Alyssa Thomas. She is like a bull in a china shop when she's driving down the court. I mean, they got a charge on her one time, but, she just starts running down the court with the ball, and it's really hard to stop her when she starts doing that. But she had 13 points, 12 assists, and 12 rebounds. She had 4 turnovers, but she also had 3 steals. So she shot 3 for 7. She went to the foul line 8 times, 7 for 8 from the foul line. And Satu Sabally came back. There was all sorts of rumors about her leaving and all this stuff. She was out for personal reasons. But I'll tell you, she looked different in this game. The last few games I've watched Phoenix play, she just was like hacking people, and she looked angry, and she just not happy. And this game, totally different Satu Sabally. Just totally different. And she played well. She was 9 for 12 from the floor. She played 75%. She was 1 for 2 from 3, and then 4 for 5 from the foul line. She had 23 points. She ended up with 6 rebounds. She had 4 turnovers, but she also had a block, 2 steals, and an assist. So good bounce back game for Sabally. And then Kalia Copper was very key in this one, too. Every time Connecticut would make any kind of run, she would just come back with a pull-up jump shot that was it seemed like she didn't miss, but she did. I mean, she was 6 for 13, but in the game, it sure looked like she didn't miss very much. And then Dewana Bonner, she was 4 for 8 from 3. She was key in that first quarter. She hit a couple of them then. And then she hit 2 more later, and so she ended up with 18 points. She was 6 for 12 overall, and then 2 for 2 from the line. She got 7 rebounds, and she had a turnover, and that was it for her. Lexi Held didn't score. Sammy Whitcomb had a 3. She was 1 for 7 overall. Westbeld she got a foul shot, and then Akoa Makani had 9 points. She was 4 for 6 overall, 1 for 3 from 3. So overall, good game from Phoenix. They shot 45%, 40% from 3. Let's see, rebounds were fairly even. The Mercury had 39 rebounds to Connecticut's 35. But Connecticut kept fighting hard. They just didn't shoot well enough. They shot 34% from the floor, 20% from three. That's why they're 5-23 because they don't look that bad. If you look at the score and you watch them play, if they made more shots, they'd have a much better record. And they have lapses like that first quarter put them down by 20. And they just were fighting that the whole way. And it's really hard to make that up when you start out that way. So, they had their share of turnovers too. They had 17. But Phoenix got, 26 points off those 17 turnovers. And Connecticut only got 21 off the 20 turnovers that they had. So, points in the paint were even, 34-36. Marina Mabrey, she played pretty well. She had 18 points. She had 4 turnovers, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. She was 2 for 7 from 3, 7 for 18 overall. She can shoot better than that. Morrow didn't score. That's surprising. She's been playing really well for them lately, but she just didn't make a shot. She had 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers. Tina Charles, 16 points for her. She was 5 for 12 overall, 5 for 6 from the line, 7 rebounds. She had 5 turnovers, though. There were times where the ball just left her hands. Like a pass went into her and she mishandled it or something like that. Leia Lacan was all over the place defensively. She was just great. She had 6 steals, 10 points. 1 turnover, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. She was 4 for 9 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the foul line. Bria Hartley, 7 points. She had 4 assists, 1 turnover, and 1 rebound. She was 3 for 8 from the floor. Sonia Rivers, 2 points. She hasn't been scoring lately for them. She only took 4 shots. And she only played 12 minutes, too, so... Nelson Adota, she's been playing really well for them, and this was not one of her better games. She only took 5 shots, and she had 4 rebounds. She had an assist, a steal, and a block. J.C. Sheldon, she had her moments in this game. She was 2 for 6 overall, 7 points. She ended up with 4 rebounds and 2 assists and a steal. And then that was it other than Torre, who used to play for the Valkyries. She was on the preseason team. She had very nice game moments for the Valkyries, so I'm glad to see she landed somewhere. She ended up with 2 points. She took 3 shots. She was 0 for 2 from 3. She had 2 steals, a turnover, an assist, and a rebound. So that was it for Connecticut. They are now 5-23, and Phoenix is now 18-11, and they are in. I think they're in 3rd place. No, they're in 4th. They're tied with Atlanta. I don't know when they're going to be playing Atlanta, but Phoenix has lost quite a few games lately, and they get the win in this one. So you have Minnesota, then the Liberty with 10 losses. Atlanta and Phoenix have 11 losses. Then you have the Fever with 13, Seattle with 14, Vegas with 14, and then you have the Valkyries and the Sparks with 15, and then the Mystics with 16. And then you have the last 3 teams. You have Connecticut with 23, Dallas with 22, and Chicago with 21 losses. So that's how the league rounds out, and that'll do it for this one. So we'll see you next time.